Hello, everyone. Welcome to Life is Reality. Top of the day to you. Hope you're having an amazing day. Today, we're going to talk about stepping on the scales, about weighing yourself and the benefit of weighing yourself twice a day. Again, before we get into the topic, please take the time to leave a comment below. Give a thumbs up if you find any value to any of these videos. It really does help the channel grow. It helps other people be able to see this information and to get it out there. If you disagree with it, please take the time. Let me know. Educate me in the comments on why you think it's wrong. So, weighing yourself twice a day. Before the trigger alert goes off, before you start yelling, if you are the person that it's going to throw you completely off of your plan and throw you into a negative state by seeing that scale jump up 4 pounds in one day, this may not be for you, okay? Because that's very, very possible that a scale weight will jump up 4 pounds in between your morning weight and your night weight. All right? Now, let's talk about the benefits of weighing yourself twice a day though. Is it's giving you the tool to really fine tune what's going on with everything you eat and everything you're doing. We want to use every tool that we can. Some people will count calories every single meal. They'll count them out for a week. They'll start planning. That's a tool that you use for your weight loss. Why not see the effects as soon as you can? Granted, some weights are not going to show up right away. Some weights are. And it's nice to see what's going on. I'm going to give a couple of examples. One, the biggest one, I really want to drive this one home, is if I eat too little in a day. So I don't count my calories. I just eat, certain foods that I need to get enough of. If I go a day where I end up, getting too busy to finish my day's foods, I'll go into my fasting period a little bit hungry. I don't suggest that. The reason I think I've come to find out that I would rather shorten my fasting window, because if I do that, not that day, not the next day, but the day after, I will not lose any weight, and sometimes I'll gain a little bit. Now, it may only be a half pound, maybe a pound, but it's still there. It's still one of those things that if I eat too little, my body doesn't want to get rid of weight. Granted, eating that little, I will still lose weight, but I'm not losing as much. Some of the reasoning of that is when you restrict that much, your body doesn't want to get rid of that much. As an obese person, my calorie intake before this was probably realistically 4,000 calories a day on average, maybe more, maybe 6,000. I was eating way, way too much. So if I restrict down to 2,500 a day calorie diet, that's a diet. That's already a restriction. I'm already at a calorie reduction from where I was at. I will lose weight there, and my body will lose weight more comfortably there than if I tried cutting down to like 800 calories. If I was already at 180 pounds or something and I wanted to get down to 160, then yeah, my calorie intake may need to be taken down that much. But as an obese person, we're already doing some exercise of moving a heavy weight whenever we move at all. So our calorie burn in a day is generally more just by walking. Me walking a quarter mile will burn quite a few more calories than a person at 160 pounds walking a quarter mile would. I'm moving a lot of weight with that. So being and weighing myself every day, twice a day for the past month and a half, 2 months, I've found that out, that when I eat too little, I don't lose as much weight. My body's holding on to it some. It's not as comfortable going into that stasis. And neither am I. I don't like being overly hungry for any period of time. I don't like wanting to eat more food the next day because I didn't eat enough the day before. That's another trigger that happens with that, is I want to eat a little bit more. Also, I find that when I do that, I want to eat more salt the next day. I want the more satiating or more, I can't think of the word for it, but I want saltier foods a little bit, which is just going to hold water weight as well. Another thing is you get to know what works in talking about salt. Is I can tell and I can see on the scale when I have too much sodium by I hold a little bit more weight. So if everything else is on my diet, I'm keeping track of it, I'm watching what I'm eating, and I know everything's good. And if I add a little bit more miso or amino acids, which both of them I really like, especially in certain foods, I can see it the next day or even sometimes that night of I'm a little bit higher on my weight and I've held a little bit more. Granted, it's going to come off, but it lets me know that, okay, I shouldn't have had quite that much. I needed to back that off. Today, I'm probably almost a full pound heavier from water because last night in my stew, I had a lot more, miso and amino acids than what I probably should have. Then I'll also go into, since we're talking about water retention, the amount of liquids I drink in a day. This is one that kind of surprises me and is hard for me to wrap my head around a little bit. But if I don't drink enough water, I don't lose weight as well. I'm not as efficient at it. I also find that certain fibrous meals or stuff stick with me a little bit longer. We'll leave it worded at that. So it's one of those things where I have to make sure that my water intake is good for me to continue losing weight. I have to make sure that my meals are enough calories, enough fiber, enough, nutrient dense that my body is okay with getting rid of the food. When I start restricting, it doesn't want to right away. And I haven't tried extending that any longer period because right now, being as heavy as I am, I don't need to restrict it more. If I'm eating, till I'm full every meal basically, and I'm doing my 16-hour intermittent fasting window and I drink my, 13 plus glasses of water a day and I drink my apple cider vinegar, 3-4 times a day and I keep my sodium level in check, I lose a pound a day. That's pretty darn good. I mean, I can't complain about that. I don't know anybody who should complain about that. So by weighing myself twice a day, it gives me that information. It gives me that ability to fine tune what is and what isn't working. It also lets me know that when I, don't eat enough and I'm eating the next day heavier, I see that right away and I can put myself back in check of, whoa, slow down. I haven't had any mental stumbles yet, but I'm sure a lot of us struggle with the mental side of food addictions or trauma addiction or traumas that cause us to turn to food for comfort and things like that. I haven't had any of those, but I'm sure that when that does creep up, because it has in the past, I'll be able to see that day or the next day on the scale. And hopefully that'll give me that time to be like, whoa, slow down, hold on. We need to focus on what our goal is. Why are we increasing our food intake? Why are we increasing, whatever we're doing that causes this weight gain? It's a tool that I can use and I'm comfortable using in that way. And I suggest everybody try to get comfortable doing that so you can gain access to be on top of your diet quicker. You are the boss. You are in control. You are your best coach. You know how everything makes you feel. So you need to be getting in there and digging in and taking the time to study and gather all your information that you can. Do your research on yourself as well as other things and what is and isn't working. It's really amazing how much can work. And if you're on the wrong diet, it will stop at some point in time. Wouldn't you like to know the day that it stopped, or at least the week that it stopped, that all of a sudden whatever I'm doing is stopped working, what's going on, and you can reevaluate the situation and address it right then and there? That's what I want to do. I want to know if I get off track or if something all of a sudden stops. I don't want to stop losing weight for, until I reach my goals. I don't think you should either. I hope you find this information useful. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. leave a comment. If you think I'm crazy and saying you disagree, please educate me. Tell me why. Give me that opportunity to see what you're thinking and giving your feedback. It really does help. I take it to heart. I try to, I love information. I love getting that community growing and that feedback, positive feedback. Everybody loves positive feedback. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and drop that down there. I appreciate it. I appreciate you commenting here on these in YouTube. I post these on different areas, different forums and stuff like that. I get a lot of comments there. I'd like to see some more of those comments coming in here. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Oh, and it's Thursday, so an update on my weight. Today I weighed 404 pounds. I'm 2 pounds heavier than I was Monday. I think Monday I was at 202. I can't remember what last week's weight was, but I don't think I've lost much weight from last week to this week. Some of it is I had 2 short days of not eating enough food. Yesterday I ate too much salt, so landing on a Thursday, my weight loss isn't all that great. So that's kind of how that stuff staggers out a little bit, but I know it and I'm comfortable with it, and I know every fault that I had and where it's at, and I know how to optimize it and tune it, because I weighed myself this morning and last night and every morning and every night, and I kept track of everything. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day.